Robin here. I need like a sign. That's a P. Hold on. Ugh. So, today I wanted to talk about self-esteem. And really what I'm tempted to call this is self-respect. Because esteem is kind of a vague word, but respect is something that we can understand the definition of respect. Respecting someone means that you respect their desires, you respect their wants, you respect their needs. And every human being deserves respect. Every human being. Everyone just deserves a baseline level of respect. I think most of us could kind of agree to that. So, right off the bat, I want to say that I used to have very little self-respect for myself. Especially from like the age of, 11, 12 onwards, which is when I started becoming really self-conscious, is when I started not respecting myself anymore. I didn't like how I looked. I had long hair until I was in like junior year of high school, and just in general, the look that I had, I disliked a lot. I was ashamed of it almost. And there's nothing wrong with having long hair, there's nothing wrong with that. Guys can have long hair, but I felt like the way I looked, the way I dressed was so incongruent with how I felt inside. And I did okay in school, but I was very kind of reclusive. I didn't talk to my fellow students that much. I had a very small group of a couple other friends, but during that whole time period, I knew that there was something different about me. I knew that there was something wrong with me. The idea of wearing makeup made me super uncomfortable. I hated being called pretty, I hated being called cute, and I didn't know why. All I knew was that I was different. All I knew was that I had a lot of trouble socializing, and I didn't understand why I had that trouble. So that was middle school up through senior year of high school. And keep in mind, I'm a freshman in college, so this was up until really recently. But then, I went to a lot of outpatient therapy, and I started kind of slowly gathering my shit up and getting my shit together with the help of so many other people. What I got the most out of was group therapy, which is basically talking to other people. So I did a lot of group therapy over the summer. And it was really slow going because I wanted there to be fast results. I wanted to feel better as soon as possible, and it was really frustrating. What I also started doing towards the end of my senior year and over the summer is that I started expressing myself in a way that was more congruent with how I feel inside. And what I found is that I didn't instantly develop self-respect for myself. But what I did is that I started acting more like I had self-respect. I started showing more respect towards myself, and I started asking to be called Robin. What happened is that I slowly started liking myself more, and with that I started respecting myself more, and I started thinking more highly of myself, not to a degree of vanity, but to a healthy degree, a degree that everyone should have. And this is kind of an analogy that I've run across a couple of times for the way you treat yourself. So your best friend. If you have a best friend, or if you have someone who's close to you, imagine how you expect them to treat you. You expect them to show you a basic amount of respect. You wouldn't want them to be highly critical of you, and if they started being highly critical of you, you would probably stop being friends with them, or at least you would hang out with them less often. So now imagine that you are your own best friend, and the thoughts that you have towards yourself, those are things that your best friend is saying to you. I don't matter, my feelings don't matter, I'm terrible at such and such. Imagine that that's your best friend saying that to you. And I think we can agree that even if that person isn't your best friend, even if they're just a stranger saying those types of things to you, that's still really rude. That's still really disrespectful. So you should at least try to treat yourself the way you would expect, another person on the street to treat you, assuming they're not a dick. And it's okay if it takes a long time to build up your self-esteem, your self-respect, because it's not something that you can just suddenly have. It's something that you have to work for, you have to work towards. You have to start honoring your own desires, your own dreams, your own wishes, not at the expense of other people's, but enough that, you're spending at least a little bit of time on the hobbies that you enjoy, on spending time with the people you really care about, that kind of thing. And so it's kind of this cycle of feedback, because the more self-respect you develop and the more you pursue what you actually want, the better you start to feel about yourself, the more respect you start to develop about yourself. So it's a feedback loop, it feeds into itself. So those are kind of my thoughts, and I hope some of you got something out of that. And if anyone would like me to give advice about something, I'd love to do that. So don't forget to subscribe, and See you guys soon.